Example 7 is to understand the date issue in Excel. The first thing to keep in mind is that Excel is a spreadsheet program. It was born as a numbers crunching program, but over the years it has become capable of so much more. As part of the underlying programming, dates earlier than January 1st, 1900 cannot be calculated in standard date format. Although there are several workarounds, the easiest workaround for most of us genealogists is simply to save the date information as text and then use the text to columns feature to separate out our date into 3 columns: the day, the month, and the year. Now here we are at example 7a through 7d, and you can see those examples right here at the tabs, and these tabs again are simply the worksheets in our Fun with Excel examples workbook. And what I've done is given you the information that you need in order to work through this example on what I call my green cheat sheets, and you can easily move those around if you grab that text box and move it. Now, if you also navigate over, you'll be able to see the text to columns wizard steps 1, 2, and 3 that I used in order to do this example. And I include these screen captures, as I mentioned before, and those can also move around. And this is just a reminder that you can include screenshots and text box and pictures and anything else you want in your worksheet if it helps you understand what you're trying to accomplish. I use these as my instructions. So let's go ahead and take a look at the example. I have included 6 rows of information about 6 individuals that includes their first name in column A, their surname in column B, their birthplace in column C, and their birth date in column D. Now, as I mentioned, the easiest way to work with dates in Excel is simply to use the text to column wizard. The text to columns wizard is found in the Data tab on this ribbon. So we're going to leave the Home tab, click on the Data tab, and in Data Tools, we find text to columns, and we're going to left click on text to columns, and that opens up our convert text to columns wizard. And for my purposes, we're just going to place it right here. Now you simply work through the steps, and as I mentioned before, there's 3 of them, and in this instance we can see our information. This gives us a preview of our selected data, and this is something that you want to take a look at whenever you're working with text to columns. You can choose delimited, that is that characters are separated by tabs or commas or something else in the fields, or fixed width. And if you choose fixed width, you'll get a ruler to work with, but we're not going to be using that. We'll be using delimited. Then we click on next, and as you can see, I've clicked on space, but if there were commas here, I could click on that, or if there was some other delimiter, I could always add that one. We're going to click on space, and it separates it out for us. Again, it's giving us a preview. Now this is probably the most important thing for genealogists, and I consider this quality control. The destination for your data, where it's going to go in a conversion, is set up to override the information that you have in column D, because your destination is D. We don't want to do that. We want our date to always stay in D, so we're going to select E for our destination. Our information will go into E, F, and G because we have 3 pieces of information that we're separating out. So always keep that in mind with your destination, otherwise it will override this information, and we don't want to do that. And then click on Finish. Now our information went into the 3 columns as well as that column heading, but we can easily change that to day, month, and year. And now I have my information separated out with the text to columns wizard. The next thing we're going to want to do is sort this information, because right now my rows of information are not in date order. We go to our example 7b for a custom sort. And yet again, I have my green cheat sheet, and I have my screen capture of what my custom sort looks like. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go back to the Home tab and find where Sort and Filter is. And it's right up here on the Editing feature in the Home tab. The other thing that we're going to want to keep in mind is that if we're sorting this information out, we have to make a decision on what information we want to sort. I know that I want to sort the birth date information for each of these individuals. So it's 6 pieces of information. I can do a custom sort by grabbing all of that information so that it's grayed out. I could also do that custom sort by clicking on the inverted triangle, which is above 1 and to the left of A, and that tells me that it's going to sort my entire worksheet. So if you're having any trouble, grabbing particular information, or if your information fills up 6,000 rows of information, the easiest thing to do is just to select all. Now we go into custom sort, and that simply is clicking on it. And we choose, instead of sort A to Z, sort Z to A, we choose custom sort. The first thing to keep in mind with your custom sort is that our data has headers. It's not clicked on right now, but once I do that, Excel understands that the information in row 1 is a header, and so that information will not be sorted. Now we're going to sort by certain things. Our first sort is going to be by year, and in this instance, sorting smallest to largest is fine. We're going to add a level by clicking on that, and we're going to choose month. Now, we don't want to choose A to Z or Z to A because we want to sort by the months. So we click on this arrow here and we select Custom List. And in your custom list, and keep in mind you can always add to it, right now we have the days of the week in abbreviated format and fully spelled out. We have the months in abbreviated format and also spelled out. We're going to choose abbreviated format and click on OK. And our final add level is the date. We're going to choose the day and we're going to choose smallest to largest. And when we do that and click on OK, it's going to sort this information for us. I'm not going to click on that here on this worksheet because I've already done it, and I'll show you what it looks like on example 7C, custom sort result. But you can play with this any way that you want. Now if we go to our custom sort result, and this was where I clicked OK, it separates out this information in date order. It keeps the row of information together because I did a custom sort and told it that my data had headers. So I want Andrew Keogh, St. Mullins in Carlow, Ireland to always stay with the birth date of March 15, 1790. And I want that to work in every single row. And finally, in example 7D, I've taken out that sorted information and just kept this date information. Whether you keep your dates sorted and keep the day, month, and year, or you delete it after you've sorted your dates is up to you. And there you have it, the easiest and cleanest way to work through the date issue in Microsoft Excel.